She was tied up in the middle of the desert, bruised, silent, and behind her, a rusted metal sign. 3 words written in thick red spray paint. "Leave them here." That's what stopped Ray in his tracks, a Vietnam vet just passing through. He'd seen awful things before, but not like this, and definitely not this close to home. But the moment he cut that girl free, he had no idea the truth he was about to uncover, or how it would drag his past right back into the light. Tell me in the comments what city you're watching from. I'm always curious where these stories land. Ray Coleman didn't talk much anymore. He lived alone in an old RV that ran just well enough to get him from town to town. He kept to the back roads, camped where no one else did, and didn't expect anything from anyone. He'd been through war, buried a wife, lost a son to addiction, and outlived most of his friends. So when he spotted movement in the canyon, just outside Shiprock, he figured it was a coyote or a wild dog. But when he got closer, he saw her, a teenage Lakota girl, arms tied behind her back, face scraped, clothes dirty and torn, barely moving, no one else in sight. Just that metal sign behind her, bolted to a post, those 3 words, "Leave them here." He didn't ask questions. Not yet. He cut the ropes, carried her back to his RV, gave her water, and waited. Her name was Ami. She was 15, and she was terrified. At first, she didn't want to speak, just stared at the ceiling and flinched whenever she heard footsteps. But slowly, little pieces came out. She said she'd been trying to get to Albuquerque to find her aunt. She and her cousin had accepted a ride from a couple of guys at a gas station. She didn't remember what happened next, only that they took her phone, separated them, and she woke up tied to a post. She never saw her cousin again. Ray went to the local sheriff's office the next morning. He told them what he found. The deputy took a few notes and said they'd look into it. But when Ray mentioned the sign and what it said, the mood changed. The deputy got cold, told Ray that the girl probably made it up, that there were a lot of stories like that lately. Ray knew the tone. He'd heard it before, in uniform, in war. That fake calm meant, drop it. But he didn't. He drove back to the gas station where Ami said they'd stopped. It was run by an older man named Carl, who didn't want to get involved, until Ray offered to fix his security camera for free. In the footage, Ray saw the moment Ami and her cousin got in the truck, and then he saw the man driving, tall, shaved head, a patch on his jacket, a military vet, and Ray recognized him. His name was Eddie Parks. They used to sit in the same VA group. Ray tried to take the footage to the police. Again, nothing. They said Eddie had served with honor, and there must be a misunderstanding. So Ray took it to someone else, a local Native activist who ran a radio show and podcast. She posted the clip, told the story, and within 48 hours, it was everywhere. The pressure worked. The FBI stepped in. Eddie was arrested. Ami's cousin was found 2 towns over, alive, but in bad shape. Turns out Eddie and 2 others had formed a group, said they were cleaning up the towns. They targeted native teens, called them runaways, left them in the desert as warnings. Ami's story broke everything open. More victims came forward. The sheriff was forced to resign. Investigations began. The truth finally had a name. Weeks later, Ray visited the post where he found Ami. The metal sign had been taken down, but he brought something with him, a piece of wood he carved himself. He nailed it to the post, right where the old sign had been. It had just 2 words this time, not forgotten. If this story struck a nerve, comment the word forgotten, because being invisible is the first weapon used against people who have already lost too much. There is a story here on the screen that will also move you. Press to watch, you won't regret it.